Good morning. This is going to be kind of an impromptu video. I'm going to discuss a little bit about where I'm headed with my photography journey for 2025. If you follow my YouTube channel for a little bit, you know that I've had a camera probably since about the age of 5, where I started in various film photography and then moved into digital. I've taken a lot of travel photos, a lot of wildlife photos, a lot of landscape photos in my travels. Traveled probably up and down the east coast of the United States, from northern Maine all the way down to Florida and the Bahamas a bunch of times, and I just accumulated a lot of photos. So back in 2010-ish, I decided to start offering my photography on different products and different prints, and I opened up a bunch of stores online with various websites and joined a bunch of Facebook groups that discuss photography, artwork, product sales, SEO, and all that other stuff. And I've had varying degrees of success with selling my works. It depends on the website and the online store. One of the things that started happening was, over the years, these sites decided to change their terms of services for both the customer and the artist, designer, whatever term they used to describe the people who were selling. What ended up happening was they changed their fee structures and terms of services, which resulted in negative consequences to both the customer base and for us who were selling the products. And I brought this up before in a number of videos where I showed you the different cost structures versus the sales, the added fees, the added postage that was actually put on the seller versus the buyer, which is like totally backwards from most things that are sold online and shipped and everything. But so what ended up happening was, in these Facebook groups, a lot of people started discussing, and there was a lot of chatter about how they noticed that their sales dropped dramatically within a couple of months of these sites changing their terms of services. And people were going from like 2,000-3,000 a month, sometimes even higher, to barely even making $100 or $50 a month. And this was outside of the Christmas season. During Christmas, of course, there was a lot more sales and that, but even then they started noticing that the amount of sales dropped during the holiday season as well. And subsequently I started noticing the same things. I ended up, over the last year or so, closing down every single one of my online stores, with the exception of my photography website, which I'm going to keep open. I've identified that the products being sold were the same between all these other sites that I had listed products on, and also what was offered on my photography website. So I had probably thousands of duplicate products out there, and the price points didn't really vary that much, maybe between $1 and $5, depending on what site you went to. So to the customer, it really did not look like that much of a price difference on their end. On the back end, however, my photography website offers a higher profit per item than these other sites, because the other sites were charging higher for the base product and higher in fees versus my photography website, where the profit per product was a lot higher. So that's why I decided to discontinue everything except for my photography website. Not only that, my photography website also partners with a professional print lab out in California and also one other places. So they're very much high quality versus commercial quality that these other websites were offering with their so-called print-on-demand products. So that's one of the reasons why for the change. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going through my website right now and restructuring it, because I have thousands upon thousands of photos. I've decided to go through and consolidate it down to a few albums. This is a work in progress, but this is the website. There might be a few cosmetic changes here and there, but basically the photos that come up on the first page when you log in, this is going to look different probably for every single user that comes in. And the reason being is these photos are actually based on the most popular views at the time. So for example, let's say somebody comes in and views this photo right here of the covered bridge. That gets more views than other ones, so that might move up to the top of the list. Or if you go into one of my albums here, let's say this church right here gets viewed more than some of the other photos, that might also move over to that front page. What I did was I kind of went through and restructured this website just a little bit. In the navigation up here, if you go to the About page, it kind of describes me a little bit, shows my different hobbies and other stuff that I do outside of my photography. Gallery we'll talk about in a little bit. Books, right now I do have one photo book out there, which is my photography from Lake Mattamuskeet, and it does offer a preview. You can go through and view the book. Not sure if I'm going to offer another photo book in the future. It's something that I am working on. YouTube will take you out to my YouTube channel, and podcasts will take you to my Christian podcast. So let's go into the galleries right now. I've added some text up in the top here. This basically discusses why I don't share the locations of my photos during my travels. I've been taking pictures since I was 5 years old doing photography, so a lot of these places just do not exist anymore. Some of these places have been overrun with people, which is resulting in a lot of litter, and I've also gone back to places and found that some commercial companies were illegally dumping on the site like various construction products that they just wanted to get rid of, appliances and all that. And unfortunately, some of these are also public lands that are maintained by the local fishing game, so we're seeing some of our places get shut down because of this, and trying to track who's doing the dumping, with the maintenance of the trail cameras and other stuff. So that's why I don't offer that. Some of the other reasons is outside of the image that I capture, that image might be the only scenic thing in that process. The rest of the surrounding area probably just did not look that great, but there was just like this one special little tiny portion right there, and that's why I chose to capture that. And then the biggest reason of all why I don't share this is, truthfully, I could not tell you how to get back to a lot of these places. If you're ever travel in a car with me, some people get frustrated. Or if I'm on vacation, I'm visiting somewhere, my wife gets a little frustrated, I'll leave her and give a shot for an hour while I go out and explore. I could not tell you where I am. A lot of these country roads do not have signs on them, so you don't know if you're crossing town lines, you don't know if you're crossing state lines. Half the time there are roads leading off of other roads that don't have signs. You don't even know what road you're really on. And also a lot of times I'll be traveling and I'm known to make abrupt stops, U-turns, reverse direction, back up in traffic or back up in the road to get out and capture a photo. So that's why I don't share a lot of these locations, because I would not know how to get back to them in the first place. So what I've done in this redesign is I've identified that I've had thousands upon thousands of photos out there. And since I'm kind of getting back into the more or less landscape photography aspects of it, of what I'm going to be offering, it was time to go through these photos, choose what is going to be offered, and choose what's going to be discontinued. So the albums I have out there right now, I have old barns and buildings that I have taken over the years. A lot of people like the autumn and fall season, so I have a bunch of those out there as well. Different ones I've taken during the autumn season. I did a whole series on monochrome and black and white. and I'll probably be doing more of that in the future. A lot of people like the summer and coastal areas, so I have a lot of that out there as well. Same thing with my wildlife. I don't shoot too much wildlife lately, but I do have a lot of when I did wildlife photography, just different photos that are out there. Same thing with winter. I have a bunch of winter pictures that I've done. So on and so forth through plants, trees, natural abstracts, sky. Christian artwork is kind of a mix between different types of photography and Christianity. It kind of goes along with my podcast, but I have a few images out there now. I have a bunch of landscapes. Like I said, I started out mostly doing landscapes. I have a bunch of that out there. I used to shoot a lot of cars, go to a lot of different cruise nights and swap meets and that, so I have that out there as well. The album North Carolina Old Film and Digital, I'm still going through and cleaning that up and moving that to the various other albums. So one of the things with the albums is I really wanted to consolidate down, because I had probably about 15 or 20 albums out there from the various places I have been, and it really gets hard to maintain and hard for the customer. You know, if they're looking for landscapes to go through Virginia, Maine, New Hampshire, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, to find a specific landscape photo that they'd like to have. So that's why I've gone through and consolidated down a lot of these albums to categories instead of locations. So one of the other things with going through and cleaning this up, since I have thousands upon thousands of photos, is I have this album out here called Images Soon to Be Retired. And this is something that contains all the photos that are going to be deleted from this website shortly. They've been out there forever. They're from various times I've traveled, and they really do not serve the type of photography that I do nowadays. I'm going to leave this album up for a little while in case you want to look through it and grab any of the photos from it. But those will be coming down off this website probably within the next 3 to 4 months or so. So that's kind of like where I am right now with the website and redesign. Like I said, I'm getting back into shooting a lot of landscapes. I still have a video I need to make about some different film cameras I'm testing. I've already made one about the Canon FTB. I've got a Konica rangefinder that I'm testing, and I also have a Mamiya C220 medium format. That's my first medium format camera, and that's the film camera that I'm going to be testing. So I just kind of wanted to take a couple minutes, share that with you. I may or may not offer some more photography photo books. I've thought about offering one that was like my old film photography from back in the day, and then also offering some of my new stuff, but we'll see about that. But yeah, I am like really excited about getting back into photography and all these offerings. So we'll see you in the next video. Just wanted to keep that kind of short and give you a little bit of an update.